very warm welcome to you all. It is often said, nothing ventured, nothing gained. One has to be bold enough to venture and work with dedication to achieve one's goal. 20 years ago, one young Goan ventured in an unknown territory with a will to work hard and a desire to succeed. And he has. Ever since then, he has changed the way Goans keep themselves promptly updated on the day-to-day happenings and events in and around Goa. It's a news bulletin that's delivered straight to your smartphone, and that has indeed brought the change. News and views that Goan trust look forward day after day. We have here with us the man behind the success of Digital Goa News Service, Digital Goa Media, which has completed 20 years of uninterrupted and trustworthy service to Goa. He is none other than the soft-spoken and down-to-earth Niraj Naik. Mr. Niraj, a warm welcome to you to our studios.
Thank you.
And congratulations on achieving this milestone of 20 years for your Digital Goa Media and subsequently your Digital Goa News. So, how do you feel about it?
Thank you, Daniel, for your nice words. To tell you frankly, I still don't believe that I have completed 20 years. I feel that it's just started recently because I've been so busy in Digital Goa that so many activities, so many ideas and so many experiments we have been doing all this time that there was no time to sit down and think that what we are doing. The whole objective was to try and experiment and try and to do something different. And that is how we somehow crossed 20 years, and hopefully we'll cross many more years.
Yes, we also wish you all the best for that, because this is something unique, Niraj, that you set upon to do, and today you are happy about it. Am I right?
Absolutely happy.
But Niraj, when you set out to do this, did you have the faintest idea, like that one day you will reach to such heights and broadcast the news, Goa-based news, all across the globe, sitting in your office?
When we started, it was like I was obsessed by this idea, and I wanted to do something different. I wanted to bring about a change the way the news was disseminated in Goa, and Goans also helped me during my journey. They supported me, and with all the hard work, we have been every day we started achieving and gaining more and more subscribers, and our reputations spread all over the world, and Goans across the world came and supported and they subscribed. So I never thought that we would be so big, and I would never dreamt of actually becoming a big news agency or a news media. I wanted to do something different and something unique, and that we have already achieved. And what is important is the numbers is not important. What is important is the idea, and the idea which helps the people, and that is more important.
Yes. Niraj, if I may take you down memory lane, so to say, 20 years ago you set up Goa Media News, right? Your media agency, and thereafter came Digital News Service. But this was something innovative, like you were thinking out of the box. How did this all actually begin? Where did that idea came into your mind, that spark, and then you just got going? Actually, till that time there was nothing like this, as right. Digital news as such that would come into our mobile.
Right. No, actually today Digital Goa is known by our Digital News Service. But the Digital News Service was started only in 2005. The Digital Goa was launched 2002. Mm-hmm. When we launched Digital Goa, the idea was to popularize information technology amongst the masses of Goa. Because before starting Digital Goa, I had a small stint in Delhi and Malaysia. and their exposure there gave me a lot of, I thought that why not information technology be used to help the common man, because it was just emerging. It was IT
Yes.
was just
Very nascent stage,
becoming,
like, yeah,
it was
in
at a
Goa,
very
yeah.
nascent stage, and there were immense possibilities when I saw how Malaysia was developing and how the things were changing there. In every field, it was making a difference, from media to education to every field. So I realized that I should do something for Goa, and that is how I came and I started Digital Goa. And the first thing I started was IT Fortnightly magazine, because computers were not very popular. So anybody can ask me why you
Yeah.
started a publication, a printed media to popularize IT,
Yes.
because computers were not that popular those days.
Then, yeah,
Then
20 years ago.
20 years ago, there were
Yes.
very few people had
Yes.
computers at home. So how to convey, how to reach out to the people,
So-
especially common men and students.
You wanted to enter that field, IT field,
Yeah, I wanted
knowledge
to.
field.
I wanted to inform the people what IT can do for you.
Yes. The wonders.
What are the possibilities, and
Yes.
how it can change your life? How can it can change the businesses? How it can change the life of the students,
Mhm.
and e-governance. All kind of experiments were happening around the world, and why not our people benefit from it? And another objective of this magazine was to bring together all the stakeholders in the IT industry.
Mhm.
Like, we brought together the IT businesses, like all IT vendors in Goa, and IT Goa Chamber of Commerce and
Yes.
Industries, then the government, and the student community. And there was a lot of debates happening through our magazine.
Yes, I
And-
remember that time, Niraj, and I think Frederick Noronha, if I may,
Yes,
remember him.
yes.
He was
Right.
one gentleman, like, he's always into IT,
Right,
and very progressive with his ideas.
right.
As for me, I think he also had introduced me in this digital Goa IT mag of yours.
Mhm, mhm.
And that time we were on that Goa net and all that stuff,
Right.
So to a large extent, certain things were coming out through Goa net, and of course, Niraj was in the picture.
Yes,
Am I right?
yes, yes.
So you ventured into something that was totally new, but by doing so, I think you brought all the stakeholders together.
Right.
Till that time, they were not an organized lot, if I may use that term. Am I right?
Yes. Basically, the
So this
problem was
helped
it was
to
just
bring that-
developing.
Yeah.
The technology was just developing, and each one was looking at different directions.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
knew. And secondly, the Manohar Parrikar had become the chief minister of Goa that time. Then Nitin Kokolkar was the chairman of DCCI.
Yes.
Was a very dynamic
Yes.
person.
Yes.
So he wanted to do, bring out a lot of changes. He supported in a big way. Then there was this IT business association in Goa. They were very active. They used to hold ECAP exhibitions every year.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So there was that synergy that time. Those 3-4 years, there was so much of interest of developing IT and doing something, because Goa was the ideal place, according to me,
Yeah.
for becoming an IT hub in the country. But we missed the bus. We missed the bus because of various factors. Government was not very, very much keen, and the kind of vision leadership wanted, that vision was not there.
Was absent.
Was absent, and they looked at it as only as a money making racket. And on the way, we lost
Opportunity to be
yes.
one up,
Yes.
But considering all this, Niraj, can we say when you ventured into this, you were this was the first Goan kind of a startup, much before the term or that actually buzzword came into
Yes.
our vocabulary.
Yes,
We are talking so much about startups now, but this startup that you did was a startup, in fact, in the IT field,
Right.
20 years ago.
Right.
Am I right?
Right. Basically, the startup has got 2-3 main components. One is it is not backed by big corporates. It's a small initiative started by an individual. That was true, because I had no background of any business. I am the first generation entrepreneur
in your family.
in my family, and I had no lot financial backing. I had only what I had in abundance was ideas and and determination.
Yes.
And on that basis, we started this. And also there was a IT component, the tech component in it. And more than that, this is the story of our magazine, digital publication.
Yes.
But over the years, we also got into various other things, like we produced number of CDs, informative CDs on Goa.
Okay.
You know, with lot of information, and they also became very popular. And finally, we came up with this new idea of digital news service in 2005, and that became a big hit. Actually, even today, people remember Digital Goa only because of this SMS news service.
News service.
And if you want to know how that started, it's a very interesting background actually. If you go back 18 years back, you will remember that there were number of newspapers in Goa.
Yes.
And people were totally dependent on the newspapers to know what has happened yesterday.
Right.
There was one TV bulletin, not TV, radio bulletin used to come in the evening, and that had a very limited kind of audience. And there was one or two 1 hour capsules on local cable television, and they used to show news of previous day or even 2 or 3 days prior. So no way people could know what was happening in Goa that day.
Instantly.
Yes. And that was basically the problem which I wanted to solve, you know. And there were mailing list by like a person like Frederick Norona, or there are many people who had mailing list, but it has a limited access because you have to be before the computers and to see the news. So when mobile penetration started increasing in Goa, and I realized that there are substantial number of people who have mobile.
Yeah.
And beside voice call, SMS was the huge revolution in communication. Today people will say, what is SMS? But that time
it was something
great. Big. It was something great, because most important was wherever you go, you are accessible.
You could access the news.
You know,
that too, in very few words, you could know what's happening.
Exactly.
It was good enough.
160 characters to convey the meaning of the news.
Yes, it was itself a challenge. I think.
Initially, it was a challenge, and we found the way and to how to convey that meaning.
As I was saying, when you started this thing, did you have any apprehensions, any doubt, and how you looked about the people's response to it in the initial stages?
There was no apprehension as such. As I told you, it was my mission. I was obsessed by it, and I had nothing to lose, because I had not told somebody that I'm going to be big, so I had nothing to lose. Even if it did not work, fine. But I knew that, I wanted to do it consistently. I did not want to give up. Initial years, I was making losses.
Yeah.
I was,
financially not viable.
Financially, it was not viable for a couple of years. But I did not give up.
Yet you continued.
I continued because I knew that one day this will become
a
big.
Hit.
People will realize the importance of breaking news, and that's what happened. Because governments actually supported me in a big way, because it was a very unique to Goa. This, I don't know whether if I had started such a service in anywhere else, in any state, it would have succeeded or not, I don't know. I'm doubtful. Goa, because Goa is a very compact state.
Yeah, geographically it is a compact state. Yeah.
Secondly, English speaking population.
Yes.
Number 3, we are quite urbanized. Mobile penetration was high compared to the rest of the country that time. And most importantly, Goans have that urge to know what is happening in Goa. Okay. They have a strong connect with Goa.
Can you briefly tell us, very briefly, Niraj, like what are the technicalities that were involved in percolating this news across
I will
the
tell
subscribers?
You interesting stories, basically. No, actually, you don't need a high-tech thing for this. Basically, it was a very simple thing. When we started the mobile news service, that time there was no web-based bulk SMS service, all that kind of stuff. We had to send manually from the mobiles the messages.
Yes.
And there were initially we used to use this GSM. There were two types of mobiles technology those days. One is GSM, another is CDMA.
CDMA, yeah.
You will remember CDMA. Now I think it's not there.
No.
So initially we were using GSM, and but the SMS was very costly. We used to cost almost 50 paise per SMS.
Yeah.
And it was not becoming viable. All the money used to go in the SMS.
Correct.
So then came CDMA. Reliance and Tata Indicom started CDMA services in Goa, and that was the biggest turning point. They started giving SMS for 1 paisa. That was the turning point. What we did, we started buying mobiles, handsets, and started sending messages from the handsets.
Different handsets.
Yes, and first Reliance came, so there was some issue. Then we shifted to Tata Indicom, and these handsets, once you cannot change the SIM cards. If Reliance, you are changing the company, then the mobiles cannot be used.
Yeah, the company was providing
basically
the mobile.
So finally we had almost 250 handsets with us. From where we used to send messages to our subscribers.
I see.
And then that time that MTS was there.
It was a huge teamwork.
It's a huge teamwork, and only to save the cost.
Correct.
We used to do this. And one day MTS closed down shop in Goa, and we had 250 handsets. What to do? And they were operating in Karnataka. Overnight we shifted to Belgaum.
I see.
Belgaum was the closest city of Karnataka.
So you shifted your
all handsets there.
Complete center.
And complete center. We appointed people there, and they started sending messages from there.
I see.
What kind of different experiments and different innovative ideas to survive, basically.
Means every challenge that came your way, you faced it.
Exactly.
And found out a solution for that.
Exactly. Every year or every few years there was some issue or the other, and major technical changes, because you must have seen this field, IT has grown so much
exponentially,
and the way the technology is changing, that
so you have to keep pace with it.
We have to keep pace with it, and that is how we have been doing. That is why we are surviving today.
Okay, that is your technical part of it now, Niraj. What about collecting the news feeds from various talukas, various centers, various towns of Goa, and and in that instant timely passing the news message to the subscribers? How was your team then? I mean, say 15 years ago.
Yeah, we had very good reporters actually. We did not have full-time reporters. Actually, the problem was, see, the thing is, we were running on a very low margin. There were hardly any profits. So my biggest challenge was to keep the overheads low as possible, and that is why we are surviving today. So what I used to do, we had selected part-timers, or the reporters were already working from newspaper.
Okay.
Because we just wanted one line. We did not require.
It was a summarized version.
Yeah. But the reporters we selected were all senior reporters
with experience.
With experience, and who were having good reputation. That was the most important part. So we had, fortunately, I had very good reporters, and they also contributed in a big way to the success of our SMS news service.
One great thing about your digital news service is that, Niraj, whatever news feeds that you give are authentic. I have not heard anything till today that some news was made up news kind of a thing. Nothing like that. The news feeds are always authentic, and the credit goes to you for this. If I may ask you, was this in the beginning kind of a family enterprise?
It was not a family and enterprise as such.
Wherein your close family members were
actually,
part of the core
when
team?
I started digital Goa, in fact, my wife was working in Malaysia.
I see.
So, but she was a big support, because initial years when I was not having any income and I was only investing in this business, so she supported financially, and she had been very, very supportive, and she has been a teacher.
I see.
So after that she came back to Goa, and Then she taught in Goa University and Sub College, and now is fully with Digital Goa.
So you accept the fact that behind every successful man there is a woman?
Yes,
And in your case, she was your wife?
100%.
Okay. Now, at the moment, your service has spread across the globe wherever there are goans, whether it is overseas, whether it is in UK, Gulf, and wherever and it is doing so well. Everybody is so proud to have a service coming from their homeland, and they can get the news feed instantly. Now, how do you manage this news feed from various talukas? You have got your representatives, news reporters there who do you constant hourly or whatever
Yeah,
news posting?
we have reporters in most of the talukas of Goa, and more than that, actually, our, like when we started, it was a breaking news service.
Yes.
Because we were the ones who used to break the news.
The news, and
no
then
one
others
was
would
there.
pick it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But over the years, what happened? So many, as I told you, so many changes took place. And when social media came, that was the turning point.
Correct.
In fact, that would have been the end of news service, SMS news service, because after social media came, there were a whole lot of media initiatives started in Goa, and so many people started their own ventures on Twitter and Facebook, or everywhere breaking news was available.
Yes,
so why would someone subscribe by paying Digital Goa News?
I know.
When it's already available free. So that is the time when we shifted to digital to social media, that is WhatsApp.
Yes.
Then we started our WhatsApp bulletins and detailed news bulletins.
Correct.
Today, our USP is not breaking news. We don't call ourselves a breaking news service
at all. Yeah.
We give a credible news. We are a credible news service, and people today subscribe Digital Goa News Service to know what is correct version.
Okay.
And what is truth.
Yes.
And as our service basically as the most important USP of our service is, it is subscription based, and this is the only subscription based digital news service in India.
Unique in India.
Unique in India.
No other state has something
No
like this.
other state has got such a subscription based news service. And another part is, it is advertisement free news service, so that we are not bound by anybody. We are completely independent.
Yes.
So that nobody can dictate us that you should put this news or you should avoid this news. So we call ourselves, we give news without fear and favor. Especially during these elections, you can see how there's a difference basically.
There's one thing good about you is that you don't depend on advertisements, and so that your independency is there. You're not obligated to anybody. Now, Niraj, 2 quick questions for you. We are running out of time. What are your future plans for digital news service? To take it maybe to a different level. You have anything in mind that will still give it another kind of a...
There are no plans as such, because even for last 20 years, I never dreamt of making Digital Goa big, or I don't want to make it a huge media house with lots of staff and all that stuff basically, because the moment you grow, then there are pressures of all kinds of pressures. You have to raise revenue, and then you fall in the trap of advertisers and corporate funding and political funding. So I have created a unique model, a subscription based model, which is ideal for media, which is not there anywhere in India. So I don't want to actually give up this model. I want to stick to this model, and I want to see that whether this same model can be replicated elsewhere. Because with subscription based model, you cannot make lots of profits. Your margins are very low.
Yes.
So you have to always work with low margins, and so you can't grow. You can't have a lot of stuff.
Because all kinds of financial limitations are there.
Yes, there are limitations.
And you work within those limitations.
Exactly.
And you're happy with that.
I am happy with it. I am satisfied. I am content, because I don't want to get into the rat race of like others who want to just make your business big and then you depend on.
One last question to you, Niraj. As you have spoken your heart out about your Digital News Goa service, what is your message for the youth perhaps who are watching this program and who want to make a career in IT? What is your message for them?
Yeah, so very simple. Follow the passion. I always tell the youth of Goa, follow your passion. Do what you like. And if you do what you like and what the kind of passion you have, you will, there are more chances of succeeding than doing something somebody tells you, or because there is some scope for something. So there is so much of possibilities and so much of opportunities in Goa. The people are come from all over India in Goa, and they do business. They do so many things. Don't depend on government jobs. That is what I would like our youth to do. Don't run after government jobs. Do your own thing. There are so many options and possibilities. There are so many startups you can start. So only thing required is hard work and little bit of innovation and imagination. See around. There are so many opportunities available, and uh, just put in your efforts. Have some consistency, and you will succeed one day. There are no shortcuts to success. You won't get overnight success. You will have to put in some efforts. You have to be patient, and one day success will come to you. So this is the message for the youth.
Yes, Niraj, I also fully agree with you. Follow your passion, you said. And I think our youth should follow their passion. And there are surely no shortcuts to success. It is all hard work and perseverance. I'm glad you came and shared your thoughts and you spoke about your digital Goa news service. So this was Niraj Naik, who gave Goa a unique digital news service that you and I follow every day in and day out, and that's Digital Goa News. Thank you, Niraj, once again.
Thank you, Daniel.